Hi there, I'm Danny Flexen. Welcome to the latest edition of SecondsOut ReFLEXions. We're here every Monday, 4:30 PM, to look back on boxing action, usually of the weekend, but there hasn't been any boxing for ages, so now it's just whatever pops into my head. It's been a good day for me so far. My son's 4th birthday today, opening presents with him this morning. I'm absolutely knackered from getting up early, but that's no real change. And he seemed happy enough when I dropped him back at his mum's. And then I spent a while in the queue to Tesco's. Things have gotten so bad that you just end up singing and dancing along to songs that you really hate. Like Millennium by Robbie Williams was one that springs to mind from this morning. A few bangers mixed in as well, but it seemed like they had the Now 1997 or 98 on a loop this morning. Thankfully the queue wasn't too long. It's been ridiculous in the last few weeks. But enough about me. What I wanted to talk about for this week's ReFLEXions is something that keeps coming up on social media, something that came up again last week with Anthony Fowler, who posted a tweet about giving £500 each to 5 different members of NHS staff to help them out with their travel costs while the coronavirus pandemic continues and the lockdown and so on. An admirable desire to help, which I'm sure most people were pleased with, but drew criticism in some quarters, particularly on social media, no big surprise there, for publicising the charitable deed by putting the post out in the way he did. And this isn't the first time we've seen boxers try and do good and then get criticised for doing so publicly. Amir has been, throughout his career, it seems, has been beaten with that particular stick. He most recently offered the use of a building that he's not currently doing anything with, up in Bolton, I believe, that he would allow the NHS to use as some sort of makeshift hospital if necessary. Again, laudable, but Khan's done loads of charitable things throughout his career, both at home and abroad, and it seems like every time that goes on social media, there's a certain group of people that will say, well, if you're going to do good deeds but you're going to tell everyone about it, it kind of takes away from the good deed. Now, while I have some sympathy with that opinion, I do feel that with people like Fowler and Khan, who have a small but quite vociferous minority of haters anyway, I think things like that are just used as a way to get at them even more. I think if it was a more widely or loved boxer, I don't know, maybe Frank Bruno or more recently someone like Dave Allen, for example, I don't think they'd be criticised in quite the same way. Maybe I'm wrong. What I would say is, and I've said this on social media and I'll say this now, I think as long as the people in need are helped, that's the most important thing. We should never ever lose sight of that. Yeah, sure, it's not great if you feel the only reason people are helping, I'm not just talking about boxers, anyone in the public eye. If you feel the only reason they're helping is to boost their own ego and raise their own profile, then you can look at those people with distaste and think, oh, what a tosser. Yeah, fair enough. But that doesn't mean they shouldn't do it. It's sad that that's their only motivation, but if it is, then long may they have that motivation. Long may they have a massive ego that they want to feed. Because the more they do, the more good they'll do. And the people that benefit from those charitable deeds probably don't care what the motives behind it is. If you're a homeless person and a rich guy comes and gives you £1,000 when you're laying in a shop doorway and then posts it all over social media, yeah, you might think that's pretty denigrating, that's pretty humiliating. But you've still got £1,000 in your hand that you didn't have that morning. And I don't think if they had the choice, now feel free to disagree with me, that they'd give that money back for the sake of retaining a modicum of dignity. Again, it's not ideal if that's a motivation and that they're putting, pictures or videos of doing the actual good deed all over social media. It's interesting that the Billy Joe Saunders thing recently, apparently he gave loads of supplies to the NHS, didn't make a big deal about it, and then did the video that everyone criticised and put that up on social media. So he got criticised for publicising the stupid thing he did, but decided to be humble, or relatively humble, about the good thing, the altruistic thing he did, and no one really talks about it, at least until afterwards, and then it just seemed like an excuse or mitigation, which isn't, what anyone would have wanted. So getting back to the original point, I think if you don't like Anthony Fowler, if you don't like Amir Khan or whoever else, that's absolutely fine. But don't make that one of the reasons to criticise them, because they're helping people that need help, regardless of what their reason for doing it, regardless of if they publicise it or don't publicise it. Those people are still in need and those people are still getting help. And I think that's the most important thing. I don't think we should be doing anything really to dissuade giving and benevolence, whatever the drivers are. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm a big giver. I don't have kind of monthly charitable deductions or anything like that. I've set up a few GoFundMe pages to help people out that I know and kind of administered those, and I give now and again when I see things come up on social media that I think, yeah, that's a worthy cause, or if it's someone I know personally. But it's a private thing because I want it to be. If I wanted to publicise it, I don't see anything wrong with that, because not only is it up to me because I'm the one doing the giving, but also the fact that if you're a really high profile person, and I'm not, which is probably why I don't really think about it so much, an Amir Khan, Fowler, whoever it might be, if you publicise it to your 10,000 followers, even if only 1% of those then donates or does something similar to what you've done, you're making an extra amount of money on top of what you've already done. So you're not just donating your own £1,000, you're adding all the smaller donations from all the other people that you've influenced. And that's important too. Again, even if your reason you're doing it is to make yourself look good, to raise your profile, to get extra followers, yeah, not the best motivation, but that's more about the person. It still means that the ones in need get even more than they would have if someone with no celebrity at all had done it, or if someone really famous had done it and not told anyone about it. So I think the positives in this far outweigh the negatives. Now I understand not everyone's going to agree with this, and they'll just say, look, if you're doing it for selfish reasons, you're a tosser and you shouldn't bother. And that's fair enough. I disagree with you, but I respect your opinion. So tell me, what is your opinion? Let me know. I want to see what you think of this issue, because it's something that's been going back and forth on social media and that I've been quite vocal about for years now. So it'd be really good to get a cross-sample, or cross-section rather, of what people think about this. So let us know in the comments below, and I'll come back to some of them, hopefully not too abusive, but I'm not saying not abusive at all. It's lockdown situation, you've got to entertain yourself somehow, I understand. But yeah, let me know what you think, and I'll come back to you. I'll also be here Thursday, 4:30 PM for FlexPectations, next Monday, 4:30 for the next ReFLEXions. Really appreciate your time, as always, and I'll see you all soon. Cheers.